Introduction to Budgies. When it comes to pet birds, Budgerigars have been popular options for years. These small parrots can be found in just about any pet store, but they're generally only found in the wild in Australia. Although it's not unusual to run across Budgerigars of many different colors and patterns. Those variations have come about through strategic, carefully planned breeding through the years. Despite their diminutive size, these birds make fascinating pets. They have been charming people for years with their playful personalities, gorgeous coloring, intelligence, and sociability. Budgerigars are affordable pets, and they are easy to care for as well. People have been breeding Budgerigars for decades to develop exciting new color variations and markings. If you're thinking about adopting one, you can take your pick from more than 100 different variations. A brief history of the Budgies. Budgerigars have ancestors that stretch back for millennia. In fact, these birds first appeared on Earth long before humans. They are native to Australia, and the first humans who came into contact with them were most likely the Aborigines of that land. The first recorded description of the Budgerigar was made in 1805 by an English zoologist and botanist named George Shaw. The first Budgerigar was brought to Europe by an English ornithologist named John Gould in 1840. And the first captive breeding began just a decade later during the 1850s. Although the first recorded color variation wasn't made until 1870, a wide variety of variations followed shortly thereafter. The Budgerigar's popularity as a household pet rose dramatically during the 20th century, and the bird continues to be a very popular pet to this day. How to take care of a budgie parakeet. If you've just brought home your first budgie, you will want to ensure that it stays healthy and happy. Buy a big cage. Birds need to have some space to play and stretch their wings. If you care about their well-being, try to find a model which lets the light go through. Try to buy a cage that is wider than it is tall and with a square top. Budgies fly horizontally, not vertically like quails. Fancy-topped cages are simply a waste of space and money. Do not buy a circular cage, as the budgie cannot stretch its wings and fly properly in one. Your budgie must be able to spread its wings and fly. Do not crowd the cage with toys, perches, or other budgies. Test a few cages and look for one that you can clean easily. Can your hand enter the cage easily? Remember that budgies poop every 10 to 15 minutes. You can keep the same cage if you decide to have one more budgie. Try to buy a bigger model if you have more than two. Add a bath. Budgies might poo a lot, but they also like to stay clean. They even like to go underwater for fun. Look at your favorite pet shop for a stable mini bathtub made out of plastic that you can hook to the cage. It must be accessible for the budgie and easy to refill from the outside. Don't fill the bath too much. You don't want the budgie to spill water on the bottom of the cage every time he goes in the bathtub. Budgies will clean themselves if you spray some water onto them. It's not a must for them to have a bird bath. Add a few toys and perches of different thicknesses, shapes, and textures. Natural perches are great, especially compared to dowel or plastic perches. They also look far better. Make sure that the perch is stable to avoid any injury. There is a great variety of toys. Look out for ladders, bells, balls, etc. They will keep your budgie stimulated. Check that the wood is safe for the bird, such as eucalyptus. Dowel perches or plastic perches can cause foot problems due to the lack of foot exercises. Avoid perches and toys made out of prunus trees, as they might contain cyanogenic glycosides. Also avoid oak because it contains tannins. There are no confirmed bird deaths, but it's always better to be on the safe side. Try to avoid concrete perches, as they are hard on the bird's feet, but if you must use them, position them at the lowest point possible. Don't give the budgie too many toys or perches. 2 or 3 different toys are perfect for one budgie, but you don't want to fill the cage up with unwanted toys so that the bird feels crowded. Budgies should always have toys in their cage for mental stimulation. No toys can cause boredom, which leads to feather plucking. Think about the room. Try to put the bird in a warm room where there is no temperature fluctuation. A light room will keep your bird stimulated and happy. Avoid placing the cage in front of a sunny window or next to an open door. Cold drafts and overexposure to the sun can kill your bird. Make sure the budgie has enough water to drink in its dispenser. The bird will know how much to drink. Change the water daily to prevent bacterial buildup. Add a cuddle bone. This is a good source of natural calcium for budgies. Mineral blocks can also be bought too. Some people may use liquid vitamin and mineral supplements, but those will be consumed through the fresh fruits and vegetables. Clean out the budgie's cage at least once a week. This will keep the budgies safe from disease germs. Clean only with mild dish soap and water, and avoid using any cleaning products unless you are 100% sure that they are safe for birds. Try misting your bird with a fine spray from a misting bottle to keep the bird cool. Create a good environment for sleep. When it's time to sleep, simply throw a light towel or blanket over the cage. Make sure there is sufficient air ventilation. You don't want to suffocate your new bird. This is also helpful when it's noisy. The blanket will block most sounds. If your budgie is frightened by the dark, add a little nightlight. Don't let your bird panic. It might fly around the cage and injure itself. Check the towel to make sure your budgies cannot get their claws caught. Don't forget to monitor its health. Take the budgie to the veterinarian at least once a year for a checkup. If your bird acts weirdly or if you spot anything unusual, go to the veterinarian as quickly as you can. Look out for abnormal breathing, discharge from the eyes or the beak, mucus on the feather, abnormal behavior, and a loss of weight. If any of these symptoms occurs, call the veterinarian immediately. Name your budgie. Say it often, especially when you feed it, so that it gets used to its new name. Introduce your household progressively. Your budgie might be overwhelmed if there are too many people around. Bring your family members one at a time and make them repeat its name. Let your household feed the bird to gain its trust. Be careful if you have another pet, especially a cat. Cats are natural predators, and they are likely to find your budgie suitable for their next meal. Little children can get overexcited when they have a new pet. Always make sure to be in the room when they look at the bird. Don't let them hit the cage or try to grab the budgie. Feed your budgie from your finger. Dip your finger in water and put some millet grains on it. The water will make the millet grains stick to your finger. Place your finger near the budgie's mouth and it will eat them if it has grown used to you. Always treat your budgie with love and kindness. Remember that the bird is fragile given the strength of a human hand and therefore requires that you handle it with care. Always remember to teach people new to birds how to handle and properly play with this delicate little creature. Never kiss your budgie. Human saliva is toxic to budgies, and they might carry easily transmittable diseases. Weigh the pros and cons of a mirror. Adding a mirror in the cage of your budgie can keep the bird entertained for hours. They look and talk at their reflection, but be aware that there are debates about potential psychological damages. Instead of a mirror, consider a second bird. Budgies love company and will probably welcome a new friend. A mirror will most certainly with male and also with female budgies lead to crop infections as parakeets regurgitate to feed their mates. A mirror, the feeding bird itself, will not provide the needed feedback that has to come from a real mate. If you decide to install a mirror, make sure that it's fixed to the cage and doesn't present a risk to your bird. Talk and play to your budgie often. Your budgie will love the interaction and the games, and it is likely to become very chatty. Move your finger in front of it. If it is shaking its head in the same direction, it means that it loves to play and is very active. Let the budgie fly in a room. Once the bird is at ease with you and its environment, you can let it fly in a room with all of the windows and doors closed. To call it back, switch off all the lights and the curtain of one window open. But remember, the window must be closed. The budgie will be attracted towards the light. Hold it gently and put it back inside the cage. Make sure that the bird is safe. Put the cat away and look out for potential escape routes. Every budgie owner wants their pet, more commonly known as the parakeet, to have the best life possible. A healthy diet is the best route to keeping your budgie happy and alive. A nutritionally balanced diet will make sure he gets the proper nutrients he needs every day. Improper feeding can lead to nutritional imbalances and eventually illness and, in extreme cases, death. Choosing the right foods. Try seeds. One good option to feed budgies is seeds. However, you shouldn't let your budgie fill up on seeds, as this can shorten a bird's lifespan. This is because most seed mixes do not provide sufficient nutrients your bird needs and can cause cancer, obesity, and other health problems. Seeds should only make up 1/6 of your budgie's diet. Use fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables form a very important part of your budgie's diet. Dark green or yellow vegetables should be offered daily. Try fruits and vegetables such as apples, pumpkin, grapes, carrot, parsley, broccoli, mango, sweet potato, squash, and spinach. Feed the fruits and vegetables to your budgie raw because cooking takes away vital nutrients. Provide hard-boiled eggs and grated cheese. Although this may sound unusual for a budgie, it adds a great source of protein. It also adds a little variety to his diet, which is always a good thing. It's not absolutely necessary or required for your budgie to live a happy life, but it can be good for him. Make sure you limit these special treats, however. You should never feed him more than 1/2 teaspoon at a time. Feeding your budgie correctly. Keep it fresh and varied. Your budgie should have many different options to eat every day. As a general guideline, feed your budgie seeds and pellets. Fruits, vegetables, and soft foods should be fed to him every second day. Egg and cheese should be fed to him once a week or once every other week. Use a suitable container. Your budgie needs to be able to access his food whenever he needs to. A budgie can get very sick if he goes without eating for 24 hours. So, he needs to be able to access his food at all times. The container shouldn't be too deep, so the budgie doesn't have to dig deep to get his food. It should also be in a place near his water so he can eat and drink together. Provide a cuddle bone and a mineral block. Cuddle bones and mineral blocks are necessities for your budgie. They contain necessary minerals and nutrients that your bird might not be getting other places. The cuddle bone should be placed in the cage so the soft side faces the bird so he can scrape off the bone. Prevent obesity. Your budgie needs ample cage space or room in your house to exercise. You should also pay attention to your bird's daily feeding habits to keep him from overeating. This can lead to obesity. An obese bird loses its streamlined appearance and can become lethargic and suffer health problems. Balance the food. Budgies have very delicate systems. Any changes to his food should be done gradually over a long period of time. If you want to change his seed blends, add a little more of the new blend in each day and take away a little more of the old blend until he has completely transitioned to the new food. Get him to eat. Your budgie may not want to eat, which can be due to the presentation of foods or what you are feeding him. If he won't eat the fresh foods, chop up the veggies and fruits and put them in an empty feed cup. Change the water daily. All birds need water all day long in a clean water container. To keep clean and fresh, replace the water dish every day with a fresh dish. Clean the dish with vinegar and water only. Never use soap or chemicals to clean it. The vinegar will help prevent any bacteria from building up in the dish. Thank you for watching. If you want more budgie videos, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.